without any white space. If you pass the white space, so formatted text will not be accepted. Always formatted text will be start with F and then after quotation marks start with that formatted text to be ended with. Okay. So formatted text is what? Try to understand formatted text. Formatted text means customized output as per the programmer. Programmer is expecting the printout like this. Okay, so what? Fibonacci series of numbers every time. So whatever the number you feed by the you are requesting here, that number will be dynamically automatically added here. So that's why this 10 numbers. Okay, if you request for 15 numbers, the 15 will be automatically added. Where is a variable, where is a variable, you can take anyone, where otherwise you can take as x. You can keep it as x, any variable. So that number whatever your user feeds here, that will be stored in here x. Okay, you now you put the x here, doesn't matter anything. Yeah? So that number will be automatically dynamically incorporated here. This is formatted text. Okay, now what happened here? Try to understand. Simply you need to change this, otherwise you will get that error x greater than less than equal to 0. So whenever user feeds 0, so if x less than equal to 0, print this. Means user we are requesting from user, please enter the number which is greater than 0. Okay, now what happened? So whenever, always for loop, as I told you, for loop what? Whenever user input is greater than 0, so this line of code will be skipped. Okay, then for loop will be executed. So initially for loop starts with the 0. Okay, whenever 0, so that moment this always first variable, whatever the value stored in first variable, that will be printed. So first is equal to 0, so 0 will be printed. We need 0, then 1, we need 1. So then what happened? Temp, we have taken a temporary variable, it holds first. So now temp becomes what? Temp becomes 0. Now first becomes what? Second value, it becomes 1. Now what happened? Now second is equal to temp plus second, 0 plus 1, now it becomes what? 1. So now again second rotation, whenever I is equal to 1, that moment first to be printed. What will be the value of first? Okay, initially it is printed as 1. Okay, initially it is printed as 0. So then after temporary hold, whenever first will be printed, again from temp becomes 1. Okay, first becomes 1. Okay, 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, like this series of execution will be taken. Understood that? Initially whenever first means this 0 will be printed. Okay, now come, temp holds first value is equal to, it is 0 will be taken. Now first holds second value, this one. After that second is equal to temp plus second means temp this 0 plus temporary this 0 plus second means 1. Okay, that is equal to 0 plus 1. Now it becomes 1. Now this first, at the second iteration, this first it is holding 1, that will be printed. Okay, after that same loop rotates. Now temp is equal to what? 0. Okay, your first is equal to what? Your first that is equal to, initially it is published as 0, after that it becomes 1. Okay, now first is equal to second, so 1 plus 1 2. Now again first will be published, the first will be what? Okay, 1, this 1 will be published. After 1 is published, so now we need what? 2 means now temp 1, temp holds first value and first holds second value. Second value what? 1. Okay, the second holds temp plus second 2. Okay, like this they will be switched and the total Fibonacci series will be published, printed. Okay, okay, let us see how it will be executed. First of all, whenever initially it is 0, so whenever user feeds 0, you have written here if x less than equal to 0. So if you feed 0, okay, so it requests for what? Compile this code. If you feed 0, please enter a number greater than 0. So 0, if you feed 0, it requests for enter greater than 0. So if user feeds minus 1, less than 0, okay, please enter a number greater than 0. So always user needs to feed greater than 0. So 10, okay, if he feeds 10, so that will be accepted. Okay, this will, so how? See, so whenever 0 is there, the range is equal 0 to 10. 0 to 10, last index will be 9. So 0 to, so 10 iterations will be taken. At the first iteration, what happened? At the first iteration, first value will be published. First value is equal to what? First value is equal to 0. So 0 will be published. Next, after that, temporary becomes first. First holds what? This value. So your temporary becomes 0. Now first holds second value. This holds this one. Okay, first holds second. Now second is equal to temp plus second. Temp plus second means this 0 plus this second, 0 plus 1. So now second is equal to 0 plus 1 1. So now every time first variable value will be printed. Now first holds 1 will be printed. So now what? Now temp becomes first becomes what? Now 1. Okay, now first is equal to second, this first is equal to your second value. Okay, this one. Okay, now second becomes temp plus second. Temp is equal to 1 plus second, 1 plus 1 2. Now second becomes 2. Now this first value will be printed. What will be the value of first variable? 1. So your 1 will be printed. So now then temp is equal to first, so it is 1. Okay, now first is equal to second, your first is equal